Everyone, it's your boy Matt here. This is Taco Admin for 30 May 2025. So today, the only point of order today is to describe what I am wanting for Taco as a project overall. What outcomes I want for the community and how I want people to participate in the project. So, outcomes from the community. I want to be able to find a way to, by using rituals, as in, and when I say ritual, it's not in some magic sense, it's in the sense of a cultural practice. People coming together, engaging in an activity which alters their emotional state and gets them in a group to enjoy each other's company and to build connection and community. I'm deliberately doing this. I'm deliberately finding a way to try and commodify doing this for us to fulfill, to both create an ideology and get impact through fulfilling the directives of that ideology. First of all, what are the directives of the ideology? So Taco is about collective action and direct action. I have a very far left-leaning bent, but a lot of the concepts behind Taco as a community building project are intended to also be ideas that a lot of different groups of people will find interesting. I think the libertarians might particularly like some of the ideas of Taco because it's about people forming communities outside and fulfilling the needs of the community outside of government through the creation of our own institutions. So that's what we're looking for: collective action, direct action. We also want strong institutions. So that's a sort of like a different. This is an area where my libertarian friends might not want to be so on board with the overall mission of Taco. However, they may still wish to participate, and they are welcome to. So that part is that we need our institutions to function as advertised. We need the Australian securities groups, whatever. I'm calling a mind blank at the moment. We need ASIC. We need all the different government departments to do their fucking jobs. We want them to be able to function, and we don't want them to be able to be bought out by companies. What happened in the United States with Doge was unacceptable. That was a hostile corporate takeover of the United States government. As an Australian who is very much lives in the global world, who understands that if America, just how closely aligned Australia has been with America, if America acts really shitty, that affects us, right? So we need American institutions in Australia to function, because if they don't function and the United States starts doing crazy fucking shit, such as Donald Trump saying he's going to invade Greenland and just weird crap like this, we've got an issue. Okay, so we need American institutions to function as advertised. So that's the ideological, the ideology of Taco. So when we are engaged in, collective lovemaking, what we are doing is that we're actually doing this other thing. It is closely linked to the ideology, and that means that there is always a market for Taco. So similar to a religion, where there is a spiritual aspect, there's a community aspect. There are all these things that a religion might have, and religions tend to stay around. We have done something similar. A lot of different large media empires have done similar things. You go to any anime convention or any Star Wars convention or something, you realize that fandoms, they function in a lot of ways very similar to religions. It's how they maintain a market. And what we are doing is that we are using the same principle. What we are doing with Taco is that we're using the same principles which have been applied in other social engineering projects, other large marketing projects, and that we're applying it to a political movement. So I need people engaged in the rituals, And what we're going to do directly from this is we are going to begin. I've got a plane flying overhead. There were some sick birds. What we are doing, what we want to do is that we want to create a series of NGOs. Um, the most important NGO is an NGO is a non-government organization. It's a charity. People think that giving to charity is a good thing. It's only a good thing if the money is used by the charity in an efficient way. I have worked for charities before. I have found them to often be staffed by very strange people who are not interested in being efficient. They kind of have their own little world. When money gets given to charities, most of it just gets sucked up through the administrative chain. So what we want to do is that we want to create an NGO which functions similar to a managing consulting firm, such as PricewaterhouseCoopers. And what we're going to use that firm to do is that we're going to provide consultancy services to charities to increase efficiency. And that's something which these charities voluntarily engage with. They get to take on the policies or not. So that's the first thing, is that we're creating this NGO for that purpose. There are other projects which follow from that, but that's one of the big things I'm looking for. I want Tac0 to function as a corporation. The reason why I want to use it as a corporation is because there are less political restrictions. Political restrictions, by I mean less things are frowned upon if it is done with a corporation, such as paying particular participants of Tac0, because a large amount of the marketing aspects of this I got from Mr. Beast, like, being able to do big publicity stunts, like paying particular Tac0 participants large amounts of money, or being able to have spectacular events. The purpose of Tac0 is to continue big social engagement with it, not necessarily big, but to maintain a passionate community. So I want to have all the levers at my disposal to do that. So I cannot have Tac0 operated as an NGO, because NGOs, they get certain tax benefits, but they're also expected to abide by certain responsibilities. What I want to do is I want a large amount of the money made by Tac0, the Tac0 corporation, to then go from this corporation into other NGOs which are associated with the values of the political movement. The reason why we want to do that is because that provides tax incentives for the Tac0 itself, because donations given to charities, NGOs, they are taxed differently in Australia. Of course, I'm not a tax lawyer, so don't quote me on these things, but there are incentives for corporations to give to charities. And it creates an alliance between the brand of Tac0 as a corporation and its NGOs, which are a part of it. Now, remembering that the entire point of Tac0 is community development and community engagement, so that means a very important part of how this corporation behaves is going to be based on community input. So in a lot of ways, it does share a lot of the same characteristics of what we'd expect an NGO to have, like your local school. There'll be a school board, there'll be something like that. There'll be a similar thing in this corporation which I'm trying to create. And anyway, that's my conclusion. If this can be done in my name, right, because a large issue that I have is suppressive and domineering surveillance and all kinds of fuckery because of just the hells I've been through. If someone can do this in my name and then pass it on to me, like, that would be amazing. I'm looking for someone to go into partnership who understands the legal mechanisms to be able to build this kind of bureaucracy. But it's something which is very much something which I'm creating and have created. I've created the public image, I've created the rituals, I've created the cultural practices, and I've designed a community to function this way. This is the best I as I'm doing this, I'm looking at my participants in the project, and I'm like, I need to find a way that this can work out very well for you, right? And be able to grow the project further. So parts of this may have been rant. I've designed Tac0. This is my vision for the project. I think it's a very good vision. I'd like to have some support in building this project to its true fruition. And I'd also like to be liberated from my from a lot of my problems and be able to provide the full leadership I wish to for this project through being able to be paid and make my income through it. Anyway, have a lovely day, everyone.